Okay.
Hello, hello. Oh my God, my voice.
One day later.
One day later, we went from what is possibly one of the most exciting ways of starting the game to, I think I'm confident in saying, the least exciting week in the history of all 12 seasons of Big Brother. And that's no shade to the move. Simona was HOH. I think she did what a first HOH should do.
Mhm.
That's shade to the nominees, the people vote. Like they're just like literally, where is the game talk? Why are people not playing the game?
They're
I digress.
flopping.
We'll get into it. But there's just a lot of people that I feel like aren't playing the game.
Mhm.
I'm done. I'm done with the goddamn small talk. I'm done.
And it is still early though. Like, not everybody needs to play the game at phase 10 all the time.
Okay, but like phase three would be nice.
Yeah.
Like literally, like there's a I just say 50% of the house this week gave zero game talk.
Mm.
And that's unfortunate. But also, granted, like wasn't the most exciting week. So we'll get into it, but I think yeah, we'll get into it.
Okay.
So what happened this week? Yes, Simona was HOH. She said at the top of the week her goal solidify herself socially and make an easy move. She put up Ariel and Emma. Zach won the veto, aka Maeve, didn't change it, and Emma went home after everyone really, really discussed it for about 2 seconds.
That's exactly what happened. Emma, I don't even know if she knows that she's been evicted yet. And that was 2 hours ago.
Like, girl, we'll get into it when we talk about her, but
Oh, yes, we will. Okay. Are we getting into it?
let's do it.
Aaron. Oh, you
Yes.
didn't put in the scores from last week.
Oh, silly.
Oh,
I'll come in right now.
do you want to pause?
It's fine. We can just talk. I have it up right now. Last week Aaron had a 5 from me and a 6 from you. Do you want to
Mhm.
start on Aaron while I get it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Aaron, I feel like I feel not that differently than I did last week, aka last night, aka although we were ranking the first week. I think Aaron is someone who is talking to the right people when he needs to, and I think that people remember that Aaron is there, but aren't saying anything about Aaron being too big of a target. So I personally think that Aaron is someone that I really actually enjoy right now. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, I'm in a very similar position. Last week we said that Aaron had one of the strongest day ones, and I
Mhm.
think he has actually really kept up his relationships. And now this week, when Simona was trying to solidify things, his name was one that was constantly being brought up as someone good to work with. In addition to him being looped in by a couple of people into a group that has not formally been formed yet, but looks like it's going to shortly. Um, he also went to Mira, aka Dalton, being like, I want to form something with you. Interesting choice of people, but good active gameplay. And it worked out because, surprise, Mira will be our next HOH, aka Dalton. I never know what name to use for these people. But so that's besides the point. I think he's more solidified socially and is playing more of a game this week than he was last week. So for my score, I'm raising my score. I am was at a 5 last week. I will be giving Aaron a 6 this week.
I'm gonna be staying at my six this week.
Average of 6.
Awesome.
Aaron goes up. Do we have a graph?
I'm making it currently, but keep going and we'll get there.
Very, very fun. All right,
Ariel.
Ariel. That was an example of what Ariel said this week. Um, I mean, listen, I will be very interested as to Ariel's trajectory in this game. I think it's one of two things at this point. It's either going to be like Legend and Afantes, where she's out like in this next week, or it's going to be like Sarah McGovern, where she's going to be here until like literally the final six somehow. Um, we'll see. She's done zero. Um, appreciate her for like not just like disappearing. Like she does still send please and competes when she can and yada yada yada. So like love Ariel for that, but like
Wait, hold on. You have something. Hold on. You have something wrong. This 4 is for Dalton. This 3 is for Brett. There you go.
gotcha. Um, so yeah, not feeling great about Ariel. Um, I like don't feel like I can really give her a one because in all honesty, I don't feel like she's even necessarily the most likely person to go home next week.
Hmm.
But I'm not raising my score, so I'm sitting right at my two again.
Me too. I'm also at a 2. I really don't have anything else to say besides that. Because she did not. So, who's next?
Next
Oh,
up is Dalton,
it's not.
aka Mira. This week took a much needed foot off the gas, which I think is a good read by Dalton. Is my slides not updating?
There you go.
There we go. Good read on Dalton's part. He kept up good social relationships with the people that he needed to, built some more, and didn't, I think, good on his part, like, didn't try to BS the people that he knew he already burnt bridges with. You know what I mean? Like, good read on him to not fix what he broke last week. I think he just needs to upkeep the things that he still has. Because I don't think there's fixing anything with Will. I don't think there's fixing anything with Kate. You know what I mean? Um, so I thought that was all great. Um, people still definitely are targeting Dalton. But that being said, far fewer people went to Simona saying, I think we need to take out Mira next. And Simona really like talked it through as an option, but never was really considering it. And she had the option to try and make the move. Granted, it wouldn't have happened since Zach would not have let it happen. AKA Maeve. Again, I don't know what name to say. But yeah. So for me, having my scores from before what happened at the HOH, I was at a 3 last week. I am raising my score because I feel like Dalton is in a better position. Still in danger though. I'm going to be giving Dalton a 4.
Yeah. I mean, so I gave him a 5 last week. A lot of it because he stayed in the game and because of what he had to do to stay in the game. Um, but this week I'm actually going down to a 4. So I'm gonna meet you at the 4. Because now we're facing the repercussions of the week 1 blow up and everything that all of his actions thus far. I do think that people were still pushing his name a lot last week. Um, just in general, people are still talking about him. Like it was a great idea and a good read to kind of stay under the radar a little bit, but people his name's definitely not out there. And being HOH this week will hopefully allow him to make amends with some people and really draw the line with others, I guess. But we'll see how it goes after the HOH. But that's where I was last week. So 4.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll see what he does this week. I My gut tells me now that he doesn't need to be wild and crazy and he has set targets, it's going to be a very good week for him. But the people that he's targeting, I think, are also not afraid to make a show if they need to. So we'll see what ends up happening. But I'm very intrigued for how Dawn will forward.
Hold on.
Oh, graphic coming.
Teed. So exciting. Can you see it?
I see nothing.
Oh, really? Oh, wait, hold on. What? My screen sharing pause. Heck. Wait, what the heck just happened? Oh,
It looks like you're sharing like one window. There we go.
there you go. How about now? Wait, what the
Yeah,
heck?
we see it.
It looks like I'm sharing one window.
Well, now the graph is there.
But it's not correct. All right, there we go. That's what I want. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Oh, I'm in week 1. That's why.
Oh,
That
yeah, that'll do it.
hold on. Okay.
And we're back. And we have a graph
And we have a graph.
in the
Okay.
right presentation.
In the
Um,
correct.
yes, so very exciting. Shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Nice.
Oh no.
And we're gonna wait.
Oh my god, technical difficulties. This has never happened before. Okay. Okay, there we go. We're good.
Okay, for real this time.
Okay.
We
All
are
right.
moving
Move on to Emma.
Emma. I can start here. Emma's gameplay this week is why I believe last week Dalton should have let Emma go up on the block. It would have been so goddamn easy to just let Logan put Emma up last week and very easily send her home because she put up no fight this week. I literally don't understand how like she went up on the block and then like was talking to Nicole as if like she didn't just go up on the block and then like didn't try in the veto at all and sent no votes, no like speeches to people to keep her, and then didn't send a plea and like hasn't texted us. And like, if anything, I'm like, this is why like I have no ill will towards Ariel. Like, if you're not gonna play the game, that's totally fine if like you're busy or whatever. I mean, not totally fine. Like, of course I'd rather Ariel be playing more, but like at least Ariel like is showing like, hey all, I'm trying to be here, but life's crazy. But like, let me know what you need. Like Emma just disappeared. Thank God we didn't have to deal with her for more votes or comps or whatever, because like I would not be able to put up with this for long. Um, I don't know, and I'm so sad too because Emma was such a wonderful person in the preseason. Um, and just completely flopped. You know it's bad when I'm on the wiki ranking the people that have played 6 days, and I put Erin Pender above Emma Garcia. Erin Pender did more on season 9 than Emma did on the season. And if you know season 9 and Erin Pender, you know that that was a read and that was shade. I'm giving Emma a 1.
Me too. 1. We were 1. I don't have the breath to say anything else really right now.
But Emma girl, hope you're doing well. But like, I don't know what the hell happened.
Did I? Okay. Hold on.
Oh, my favorite part.
Oh. Wait, this is the first time this is.
Oh my god.
Sorry, it's a new graph.
Ethan's a mess.
Wait, what is happening? Is the question. It's linked. Hello. Okay,
Stephen's a
you
mess.
start talking about
No, I
Kate.
want to see the plummet. I want to see the plummet on the graph.
The plummet from 3.5
to 1. It's gonna be a pretty big plummet.
open source. Why is the source? Oh no, I don't
Sources.
link here. Okay, hold on. I gotta fix it.
Let's pause.
Okay, give me a second. Plummet.
We're back and look at that lovely plummeting line. That sums up Purple Emma.
Purple Emma. Oh
Purple
my
line
god.
for Purple Emma. And we haven't made the episodes yet, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she is not in them. Okay, moving on.
Nice. Kate.
Still love Kate. Steven,
Me
do you want to
too.
start on Kate? You want me to start on Kate?
Yeah, I do like Kate. It's so like tricky this week because I feel like practically nothing happened that it's so hard to like change what I was thinking from the first week. So I mean, really, I feel like I'm in the same spot. I love Kate. I think that The only thing that I was worrying about her coming out of week 2 and going into week 3 was that Maeve specifically was talking about breaking up Kate and Nicole. Um, I don't know if she ever looped in Dalton with that. That's the only thing where I kind of worry, but also like I don't even know if people would vote her out. Like I think if they were gonna split up, I think Nicole would go. I think everybody loves Kate. I'm staying at my 7 for Kate. Love Miss Kate.
Very, very interesting. I feel a bit different, unfortunately, for Miss Keeper. I am not feeling nearly as good as I was week 1, not by nature of anything that she's done, to be very clear. I think the first half of the week started very good for her. She made an alliance, she made allies. Great. Having her, Nicole, Will, Simona, and like Zach, I think is like a great group for her. My worry is exactly what Steven said, where Maeve was like, Kate and Nicole are tight. I don't trust either of them. For me, like the real kicker was Maeve explicitly said, like, I would love Dalton to win HOH and take out Kate. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Maeve pushing for that, especially if Dalton can't take out Will. Um, I think if the noms end up being, I don't think we're going to see a Kate versus Nicole situation. I think the situation would be Kate versus Will, and it'll be interesting to see. But my gut tells me that Kate would go in that situation.
You really think
Um,
so?
I think the only people that are anti Will are Nosha and Teddy, and newsflash, they hold no power in the game. Um, I think Zach has much more pull, aka Maeve. Um, So that worries me. The fact that when Simona was like putting out a group and was running ideas by Maeve, Simona was like, and Kate, and Maeve like straight up was like, no. And now Kate is not being included in that new group that's being made. So I think it's not impossible for Kate to be the third boot of the season. It would break my heart. I don't think it's necessarily the most likely, but I definitely don't feel as good. So I am going to lower my score only to a 5,
Interesting. Okay.
but that's where I'm at right now.
Oh, oh, there we go. It worked. Okay, Logang.
Logan.
Like Logang. It's like his group, the Logang. It's his posse.
Ah,
I don't really know who, but
um, oh my god.
you good? Oh, okay.
Okay, very good. Moving on. What is happening with rankings? Dear God, the bad vibes of the week of getting to me. Okay. Logan. Logan's someone that I still like feel like relatively good and okay about. He's being included in things now, which is great. He's probably one of the few people that has a connection to people like Nosha and Teddy and Makai, which is good for him. And like Simona has really looped him in, and Sean really likes working with him. So like good things. That being said, Nicole and Kate want Logan out. Specifically, Nicole wants Logan out. But also them two don't necessarily have the most power to do that. And I don't think the votes would like I think Logan is probably one of the more secure people votes wise in the house. Um, so he hasn't been the most active. People like are coming for him, but he's also included in a lot. I don't feel spectacularly, but I don't feel horrible. Um, just kind of like sitting like slightly above the middle. I was at a 6 last week. I want to stay at a 6 again.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm staying at my 6 as well. Um, Again, I think coming out of last week, I think that he did a good job of making sure that he wasn't going to be targeted after his HOH. I agree with everything you said. I think that it's possible that he could be here for a pretty long time, at least for the next few weeks. So 6 for me. Line stays the same.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Okay.
Maeve. She's back.
He's back. Yeah. Yes. So this is. I'm so excited to talk about Maeve this week because at long last, and I say at long last if it's as if it's not week two, but we're seeing the Maeve that won season 5 right now, and I'm so excited for it. Um, right now she like is in the perfect position. Everyone loves her, is looping her in. She's not coming off as manipulative. Um, people ask for her advice on what she's doing and is being looped in a bunch and is actively thinking about the game and knows that like Dalton isn't necessarily someone to like keep around for a very long time. Um, good read on Kate and Nicole and like maybe not wanting to include them. I just think is doing a very, very good job. Um, on the flip side, people are sussing it out.
A little
Um,
bit. Like,
a little bit. I mean, we say a little bit as if we did not get a diary room that explicitly said, wait, is Maeve from a previous season catfishing as Zach? Those are the exact words that came in this. Luckily, the person that sent it in is not really in a position to spread it right now, nor is it necessarily a huge deal. Um, so there's that. Simona is also sus of like something's happening with the memory wall. I think it wouldn't be impossible for like people to start piecing things together. Um, weirdly though, I feel like if people did figure it out, they like wouldn't care.
mhm,
And I think Maeve is gonna do a great job at like once she is revealed, if she's here for the reveal, at being like, oh my gosh, I hated doing that. So nice to finally meet everything I told you. And I don't think it's going to be a huge
mhm,
thing. I think the biggest deal that's going to come of it is like, oh my god, this girl has never been evicted before. And
mhm,
I think it's just going to make her chances of making it to like the final 3 harder. But right now, I all of a sudden am feeling very, very, very strong
mhm.
about Maeve's run of the game, about what she did this week. She won a veto, has now won 19 vetoes in her Big Brother SS career. Um, no, wait, that's a lie. Sorry,
19 competitions,
19 competitions total. Um, it was her ninth veto
which puts her
as the sole veto
as the
record.
sole veto holder. Yeah.
Is 1 comp away from double digit vetoes, earned 20 comp wins, like craziness. I was at a 5 last week for Maeve. I am raising my score, and I'm raising it significantly. I'm going to raise it to a 7.
That's what I'm raising mine to as well. So crazy. I was at a 6. I'm going up to a 7 as well. I think Maeve is gonna be here for the reveal, and I am excited to see like her transition into being herself. Um, I think it's gonna be interesting. I think if Dalton is still here, I don't know if he's gonna be able to make the transition, but I think Maeve will be. And this is what I was saying in the draft. I was saying that I think that Maeve's gonna be good at being like, oh my gosh, like I was playing as someone else, but like what I was telling you was true, and like the relationships that she set up in the first 5 weeks of the game, hopefully, will carry over to the rest of the season. Um,
And I think once she has the ability to get on FaceTime, like I think it's only going to grow for Maeve.
yeah, I
Her
agree.
threat level is also going to
It's her threat level. Yeah,
exponentially.
it's not only her being a winner, it's her making it to the end twice. And
She's
her,
the only person in Big Brother SS history to have played multiple times and never be evicted.
can she
Not
get
only
on
never be
tape?
evicted,
Yeah.
never sit on the block as a final nom or have a vote against her. Like
Hmm.
craziness, like crazy stats, most comp wins. Like it's just she is, in my opinion, like the best person from our franchise, stats wise.
Hmm.
Um, there's like no arguing with that on paper. So I'm so excited to see what her trajectory is.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. Um,
Yes.
okay. Makai.
Makai, more like meh Kai. Okay, so he isn't doing a ton. Um, we did not get I think by nature of the fact that there wasn't as much happening this week, he didn't have a reason to try and
Mhm.
face anyone. Um, we wake up every morning to the slew of 14 text messages that just say good morning or hey, and then like no conversation comes of it because like he'll send that and then like not follow up with anyone. Um, he also like consistently is like, we're like, Makai, are you here for the comp? And he's like, yeah, I'm here. And then like never plays in any of the comps. So like I'm confused of like what he thinks like being here for a comp means. Cause like it means being here and like playing it. Um, I'm just confused. He's not like, I don't know. He's on the outs. No one's talked about including him in anything. But also like I don't know. I was at a 4 last week. I'm staying at my 4 again. And I worry that it's gonna go down quickly.
Yeah. I mean, just taking it week by week, I'm also going to go down to a 4 as well. This week, I think, was obviously for everybody, it's less formational than the first week in terms of my opinion on you, I guess. But just this week in general, I feel like he had less say in what was going to happen, but also like nothing really happened, but also like he didn't really have a say anyway. Like, so you know what I mean? So like as opposed to last week where he was like his vote kind of mattered and everybody's vote really mattered last week, but his vote, he was using it to his advantage to talk to people and get in with people. Whereas this week I didn't really see him talk as much. So 4 for now for Makai, and then we'll see what happens moving forward.
Very nice.
Cool. Nicole.
Nicole. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
You can start for Nicole.
I feel good about Nicole. I think what happened last week where she was the initial nom and then took herself off of the veto, but because she was the initial nom that didn't talk to anyone, she's not coming off as a threat to anyone. When people talk about wanting to break her and Kate up, they're talking about sending Kate home and not her, which I think is good. Um, she definitely has her people and she's loyal to them, and that's great. And she is actively playing the game, which is more than I can say for a lot of this cast right now. Actually, that's a lie. Not a lot of this cast, but is actively playing the game, which is a good thing. Um, my worries for her is that like she's with the people that she's with, but like in my opinion, isn't really taking into account or considering the fact that the people that she's with aren't 100% with her. I would say like of her group, she's by far the person that's on the outs the most. And when I say her group, I mean her, Kate, Maeve slash Zach, Will, and Simona. Um, and I think everyone except for Kate has like disregarded Nicole weird. Um, so although I think that she's perceived as the lesser threat in the duo of her and Kate, I think she's also the lesser connected one. And might have a tougher time, but not a hard time. I don't know if that like really made any sense.
A little bit.
Um, I was at a 4 last week. She wasn't on the block this week. I don't see her necessarily touching the block anytime soon. So I'm raising my score, but she's not necessarily in like a great social position where people have like talked about bringing her in or game with her or anything. So I'm gonna go up to a 5.
Interesting. For those reasons, I'm actually going to go up to a 6. I think that a little because she was on the block last week, it brought me down last week, which is why I think I was where I was. Um, but this week I think that she really has. I think she has now, and this is interesting how this works, which I don't necessarily always agree with, but it's interesting how it works. Of like, as soon as you win one competition, especially early in the season, you're like, oh, we can't put that person right up right away. Like Dalton said it this week, like you can't put her up right away. Like she's gonna win the veto. Like what? Like that doesn't make sense to me really. But um, you look like you want to say something.
I agree with that. However, with Nicole specifically, it's like she won the veto, was second place in this HOH, was the best person in the first HOH competition, although no one knows it. So like Nicole comp
Okay,
wise,
so
I think like
you
is
still see me?
someone that if huh?
You still see me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
I think Nicole is someone that if you did put her up, does have a very high shot of winning the veto.
Interesting. But anyway, so like I was saying, I don't necessarily always agree with it. But I think last week, she really kind of put in people's minds that she is someone that will take herself down if need be. So I think last week she kind of took herself out of the mix per se, in terms of like, being used as a pawn or just thrown up on the block. I also just like where Nicole's at, so that's where I'm at a 6 this week. 5.5 for her. Let me see the graph. Awesome.
Yay, rising scores.
No shit.
Unfortunately, we're done talking about rising scores. Nosha, not Nasha. I don't know how anyone gets Nasha, but it's Nosha. Um, yeah, I don't feel great. Um, I think she's isolated herself to her alliance with Teddy and Logan. Um, and I think the fact that it appeared like nothing was happening this week, I think was bad for Nosha because it appeared like nothing was happening. And in terms of the nominations and who is going home, like, yeah, nothing happened. In terms of the structure of the game, more happened this week than it did last week in terms of like alliances, who's targeting who, and moving forward. And I think she's been left behind. Um, I didn't see her talk to a ton of people one on one this week. I think for a lot of people, she is a question mark. Um, I think there are people that are like more known as like the inactive players, but I don't think she's too like far down on that list to go up as a pawn some point soon-ish. So for those reasons, I was at a 5 last week. I am gonna go down to a 4 this week for Nosha. She's really smart. I think she is someone that could turn it around, but right now I'm not feeling the greatest, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Yeah, for the same reasons as probably Makai, of just like, I feel like her vote mattered more last week and she was able to do more with it. Whereas this week, I agree with you. I think she's kind of getting left behind in the kind of formations of new alliances in the game. So I'm also going down to a 4. I'm intrigued to see what happens and how things may or may not start picking up with her, but we'll see.
And the good news for her is like, and again, like this, our rankings are not dependent on this, but like Mira is the new HOH, and I think the chances of Mira putting Nosha up are very, very low. In fact, the reason I think why Nosha is so disconnected is because how much she stood with Mira week 1. Um, so should be safe for now. I hope that she like is able to build some more things because as of right now, a bunch of groups are forming without her. And when I say a bunch of groups, I mean a bunch of groups. And if you're left out of all the groups, you're going to be the person that all of the groups decide is okay to go out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jonathan.
Jonathan, sure, that I did not. I've never heard that. Fun.
That's
Anyway,
what
Sean.
Sean's good for.
Um, I or do you want to start or do you want me to start? I'm fine.
Yeah, I can start. Sean, I think Sean like might be my top 2 or 3 like on the up and up players that I like really, really enjoy right now. And I think I want to keep enjoying for a consistently long time. I think that what I said yesterday for last week was Sean has the ability to go against the grain. Isn't we were talking about him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go against the grain and decide for himself what he wants. And we saw him do that again this week where he voted to evict Ariel again, which was interesting, but I think he was probably doing it as more of a statement than I want Ariel to go. Or I think Ariel's gonna go. Um but I think Sean, if he connects to and continues to be connected to the correct people, I think Sean could take himself very far in the game. I think this week, connecting with Simona a lot more is really good for him. And I really want like this group of Sean, Simona, and Maeve to really get together here. I want that 3 so badly. That would be probably my ideal 3 right now. So I was at the 5 last week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you want to talk about him first?
Yeah, sure. I agree with like nearly everything that you said. For me, Sean is like long-term game wise, one of the people that I'm most excited about. I think he is one of the few people that is really playing long term and not necessarily as short term. Um, because I think he is someone that like is slowly ingratiating himself with more people and is slowly being looped into a lot of the groups. Um, a lot of that at the lead of Simona, which in the long term again might not be a bad thing for him. Um, I would say that they are in the same way in terms of like duos in the game. Kate and Nicole are easily like Nicole is Kate's number one and Kate is Nicole number one. I think this week we saw that with Sean and Simona, where they are gonna ride or die, it seems. They had like really good FaceTime calls. I loved a lot of the things that he had to say. I think he's one of the smartest people in the house, just in terms of like a game theory sense. Um, which is very, very exciting. With that all being said, there is still a good group of the house that is like when it's presented to them of like, and Sean would be in the group. They're like, oh, that's cool. I'm down. I haven't spoken to him really, but that's cool. So like there is still like a hole missing there, which I think is like a notable thing. So I think it like will work out really well long term if he's able to make it long term. And I think there is a chance that like he could end up on the block at some point. And if the group isn't made soon, like I'd feel better if the group that was talked about like had been made already,
Hmm.
but it hasn't been made. So that's where I'm feeling a little faulty. Do you want me to give my score now, or do you want to give me a score
Sure.
first?
I mean, I know what I'm gonna do, but you can go.
I was at a 4 last week. I do feel significantly better about Sean this week than I did last week, so I will be raising my score, but not super super high. I'm going to be giving Sean a 5 this week.
Interesting. I think that with the way the game is currently set up, I was at a 5 last week. I think that Sean has proven to me that he is capable of having game conversations with people that will resonate with people. Right now, there have been little sprinkles of, oh, like what if Sean were to go up eventually, or like is Sean against us with us? Like, you're right, I haven't talked to him. Sprinkles of that, except I think he is connected to the exact correct people right now, where I don't think he has really a shot of going home right now. And I think you're right. I think he is the person who is setting himself up best right now, or one of the best right now for the end of the game, for the long term game. Um, and his game theory perspective, I think it is really being seen here. I'm jumping up. I'm going to a 7 actually.
And like the more that I thought about it, like no, because I already said my score, and like that's what like my initial gut was saying, and because he is out of the group,
Mhm.
I'm gonna stay at my 5.
Yeah.
But I 100% agree with you. I really
Mhm.
do. I think he's gonna be one to look out for, and I just yeah, I'm very excited for what Sean is gonna do in this game.
Awesome. Simona.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Um, now this is an example of what a first HOH should do. Simona one HOH said, "I don't feel ingratiated." Social ingratiated. I said this is the second week I've said that. That is not a word.
Integrated?
Integrated, ingrained. I'm mixing ingrained and integrated into ingratiated.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
not.
moving on. She said, "I don't feel the most integrated socially. I need to change that. This week, I'm going to make an easy move, appear like I didn't do much, but lock down solid allies or groups to get myself forward." You know what everyone left this week saying? I love Simona. Simona's great. Some people are like, Simona's good. We got to get her out. But like deep into the jury. Like no one's talking about it right now. I feel fantastic. This is what you're supposed to do on an HOH. Logan, take notes. I feel fantastically. Looking ahead to next week, she's guaranteed safety because Zach the catfish picked her, and Mira the catfish is in power and is not going to send home Zach. So I'm feeling only good things. Um, because she's playing so actively, like I understand, like your score for Sean is where like I'm coming out with my score for Simona right now, and it's because of how actively she's played and getting this together. I was at a 7 last week. I'm gonna raise my score up to an 8. I thought it was a fantastic week for her.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. I was actually literally going to do the same thing. I'm also going up to an 8 this week. I think that I want the alliance of herself, Sean, and Maeve to form so badly because they are the three strongest people in the game right now, and just seeing them work together to get farther would be so entertaining. But I think you're right. Simona's HOH week was perfect on her end. She got out. I think some people are confused as to why she didn't take a shot at a bigger target. But I think the way she laid it out, I don't remember who she was talking to, but the way she laid it out of how, some games that she's been in, like someone gets nominated every week and everybody goes home to next to them and they get to the end and that's what they have for them. They have that they survived every single eviction. Like that's a really big deal. So taking out someone like Emma or Ariel this week and just making the game more active as a whole, I think was probably a good bet for her.
It's like truly like in the pre-jury phase, as much as I love exciting pre-jury phases, with peace and love to Emma, I'd rather get the Emmas of the world out of here early
Mm-hmm.
and set us up for a great jury phase. And that's what she did this week. So kudos, slay, yay, hip hop, hooray. Fantastic.
Correct.
Yay.
Okay. Sophia. I mean, I think the same thing as last week of like she needs to be the one to start initiating the game talk. Like she does talk game, but it's always people going to her to talk about it. And I think that you said that really well last week. It was like she needs to be the one to start talking about it. And you know what? I like don't know. I mean, this is like jumping ahead after the eviction. I don't know if she was she on the memory wall today? Like she was third place again in this HOH competition.
In this comp, yeah.
So like it's like I truly think like she doesn't know that that's like the caliber of what she has to do because she's here like playing, like she's here playing the
She's very like
competitions.
she's one of the names that I see up in my messages like pretty
Mhm.
often. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, she's definitely talking to people. It's a lot of small talk and then it's a lot of game talk when someone comes to her with it. Um, I think that there are still like traces of people talking about putting on the block because she does talk to people a lot, but I think that there are people she hasn't talked much with at all. So I think those people are the ones that she's gonna have a problem with later down the line. There are really still sprinkles of people, talking about like replacement nominee if needed. Sophia's in the mix somewhere, and all these different things. Um,
Can I say something real fast before
yeah,
you
sorry.
go? I agree with everything you said. Um, I think what needs to happen for Sophia, and it's a really interesting thing because I don't know if it will, and I don't know if this is what's happening, but essentially, right after Simona talked with Zach, aka Maeve, about the group, and Maeve was like, love it, don't mind crossing things, but maybe not Kate. Simona went directly to Sophia and was like, hey, would love to get a group together. What do you think? And Sophia was like, I think good things. What do you think? I'm like, no, I need a little more substance. But if she does end up getting included in whatever this group is, I just think she needs to see more people talking game to I just don't I knowing, and correct me if I'm wrong, her background isn't necessarily so much with reality TV or how these games work and
Mhm.
things. I think she just needs to see people talking game to know that oh, this is what we do. Like, you know
I
what I mean?
think she
I
has
just
the
literally think
mindset,
they
I
just
feel like, of like early Survivor or early Big Brother, where it's like, oh, you're just trying to like stay in the game and like stuff like that.
yes.
But I think she doesn't know that it's like a thing of like, oh, you're actively trying to get other people out of the game
Yes.
and setting yourself up best.
The
Um,
only other thing that I'd be concerned with is like in the event that she does end up on the block, the last 2 weeks, we haven't seen a lot of campaigning from the nominees to stay. So like I'd be very interested to see like if she ended up on the block,
no, I
like
think she would.
and I think so too. And that's why I feel good. Last you go for it. Yeah, you go.
I was just gonna say, I think what actually needs to happen for her, yes, she needs to see people talking and strategizing, but I don't think that's gonna happen unless she's put into an alliance group chat of more than one person.
Yes, like that's what I mean. That's what I think needs to happen.
And do you think that would happen soon?
Yes, I think there are two routes for it to happen. One is with the Simona group. I think that is the less likely of the two options. The other option is literally like minutes before the eviction, King Cinnamon Waffle himself, Aaron, went to Queen Catfish herself, Mira, and was like, I want to form a trio. And I'm like, this is a recipe. Yes, that was a waffle joke for disaster. Not for waffles. But that being said,
He read
Mira
the
was
can.
like, who do you feel good about? And like Aaron started the process of elimination. I was like, well, based off of activity, probably not Ariel, probably not Makai, based off of the people that blew up, probably not Will, probably. And like, I think we're like getting to like maybe Sophia. And I
Hmm.
think she would be a great person to put in that trio because Aaron and Dalton, aka Mira, will talk a lot of game, and I think it'll get her going. And like, I just think she needs. As soon as she gets going, I feel very confident and good.
Hmm. Yeah, I think so. What I was saying was, I think either that needs to happen, or I think she needs to like win a competition. I think if she
Yeah, that's valid.
wins a I think specifically like a veto where she's just like randomly picked for would probably be the best case scenario for her because then she has to actually like analyze the dynamic of the house and who would go up and she'd have to take someone down possibly. So I think winning a veto would probably be best for her. And I think once that happens, then I could think we could see a lot more of her. But I'm gonna go down to a 4 for this week.
Um, Very interestingly, I think I'm gonna go up to a 5.
Oh, okay.
Um, and it's weird because it's like for me, I feel better about her position than I do Dalton, Makai, and Nosha, the other people that I have at 4s. But I
Mhm.
feel worse about her position than Kate, Nicole, and Sean, who I have at 5s. So like I really didn't know which way to go. But because I'm feeling more positively about her, I think I'm gonna go for a 5.
Okay, fair enough. Wait, what did Simona have? I didn't just 8.
Simone had an 8. Also, wait, question for the group here. I've always said, and I know that no one's gonna be able to see this until after all of the rankings are filmed. So maybe I'll ask her. In her intro, she said Simona. I've always said Simone.
That's what
And
I
I
said.
don't want to say your name wrong.
Simona.
Like her intro was like, "Hey guys, it's Simona."
Yeah, maybe we should ask her
I'll
because
ask her. Okay,
nobody's
updates to
watching
come
this
in the next ranking.
until from a month from now. So,
Okay, awesome. We'll ask it. Updates to come, everyone.
okay. Today,
uh, it really is just like, and I feel like we talked about this last week. Last week, Teddy and Nosha so blindly sided with Mira and didn't consider the other options. And I think that immediately iced them out of the other conversations. And thus, now when new things are being built, they aren't really being considered because they're associated with her. The people that were associated with Mira are not people that are being considered for these new groups. And I think that's what's really hurting people like Teddy and Nosha and Logan to an extent as well, the most. Um, with that being said, I think Teddy is still the person out of himself, Nosha, and Makai that is talking to people the most. But that being said, it was still like significantly less than it was last week for me. Um, So I'm really not feeling fantastic. Last week I was at a 6. I'm lowering my score this week to a 5. And unfortunately, at this rate, I do. Whereas I see some of my fives, like Sean, on the uprise 5. I think Teddy's on the downrise 5. Unfortunately, the downrise, that's not a thing. On the downhill,
Decline.
on the decline. Sure, yeah, that's a good word.
Um, yeah, I mean, I was at a 5. Where's my screen? Okay, there's. I was at a 5 last week for Teddy. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay at my 5 this week. I think that I agree where he's going on a downward trajectory. I don't think that means though that means he must continue to go down.
I agree.
Um, but just looking at it right now. Teddy is someone that I think will stay around for a long time. So with him staying around for a little bit longer, he could either take advantage of that and make sure that he stays around and also furthers himself and gets even farther, or he stays around, doesn't really do much, and then just gets evicted. So I think there are two routes here that could go. So I'm at a 5. One hand. Will. Oh wait, hold on. Won't. Okay. Will. Yeah. Good.
Um, Alrighty, Will. Um, Really interesting person to talk about. I, for one, really love Will. Um, I think he is. I just think he's a really good player. Like I do. His biggest flaw, and it's not even a flaw with him right now, is just like what happened in week one was so bad that like there's no recovering from it for a lot of people. Um, so right now it is like his game is being comprised of two things. One, he's getting in good with a lot of people. The people that he got in good this week were Simona and Sean and Kate and Nicole and Maeve, aka Zach. And even like got like better with Logan, is still good with Aaron. Like, like he's got a lot of really good connections. I think he stays on the block against a lot of people
Mhm.
from a social standpoint. The flip side of that coin is he is the remnant of Will and Brett. And right now, there are still a sizable amount of people that like the house is not in two sides by any means, but I feel like the house is in. If there was like a scale of where the house lies right now, you're either on the evict Mira side or you're on the evict Will side. And I think there are a lot of people that are on the evict Will side that if he were on the block would try and push for it. And it just depends on who was next to Will. Um, Not to predict too much into the week. We don't know anything that is to happen other than the HOH. I think there are two likely scenarios for Will being on the block. The first being Will versus Ariel. In that case, I think Will stays hands down. The second scenario is Will versus Kate, and that's the scenario that I worry for him most, I think. Granted, there's a lot that is still to happen. We'll see what ends up happening with the veto or with other blowups with Mira as HOH and Will on the, or not Will, actually Will on the block. A lot could happen, but now I'm just rambling on. He's a great player in a
You're
not
saying.
position. So I'm going to wrap that all up by saying last week I was at a 4. I'm going to raise my score only to a 5 because he's not in a great position, but he's doing well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think to your point, I think Will's recovering well from week one. And I think that he does have himself a good set of allies, especially like looking at, we're not ranking this obviously, but looking at just when Dalton has already said he's going to put Will on the block, just looking at the people he's gone to and the people he's already counted for votes, I think is really strong. So I think that really speaks to the recovery he's had from week one. With that being said, looking at the other scores I've given out, I think I'm still going to stay at my 4. And then see how this progresses through next
And I
week.
think that is totally fair. Alrighty.
Okay.
Little summary of the week. Once again, Simona is at the highest score with an 8, first 8 of the season. Very, very exciting, and it's because she set herself up so well. I'll be very interested to see how it plays out for her, but I feel really good. Maeve right behind her. I'm so excited for Maeve. I know we both talked about that. I think Maeve's gonna be one to look out for, and we'll see what the reveal does to her if she makes it there. And then trailing behind there, Aaron, Kate, Logan, and Sean, all in kind of flexible positions. Down at the bottom, of course, Emma and Ariel right behind her, with Dalton, aka Mira,
Not too much red.
Makai, and Nosha. Yeah, that's what I was reflecting on. Looking at this, there really is not a lot of red scores. Because truthfully, again, like no one is doing that badly. We've seen worse. I just wish people were playing more. I think is the takeaway. But yeah,
We'll
looking ahead to next week. I know we talked about this last week, and I think it could be a fun thing for the rankings since we'll most likely know the HOHs moving forward. But last week, I know I said on the record, I think Ariel is the most likely boot of this week, and surprised she's still here. Steven, looking ahead, who do you think is the most likely boot on a Dalton, aka Mira HOH?
I mean, it obviously it all depends on the different scenarios that play out. I think what probably will happen is Ariel and Will are on the block. If they stay the same, I think Ariel's gonna go this week. That would be my guess. I don't think Ariel comes down at all unless like Dalton were, or someone who wants to initiate some sort of backdoor were to win. Will coming down could be a different story. And then it would be Nicole versus Ariel. And then
I don't think so. I think it would be Kate versus Ariel.
I don't think so. Dalton has talked a lot about putting Nicole on the block. I don't know if you've read a lot of it.
He said that for the future, though. The first thing he told Nicole after the HOH competition was, "Don't worry, you're good."
And the last thing he said in his DR was, and as I was saying, don't worry, Nicole, in the comp chat, I was really saying, don't worry, Nicole, there's potential you won't be nominated.
Oh, okay. Like I said, Nicole's not definitely.
So I think you're right that might possibly push for Kate, but I think he's gonna settle on Nicole.
Interesting. Yeah, my picks are. I think the most likely is Ariel, which would be funny, and I'm gonna make a shot in the dark pick. I think Kate is the second most likely person to go home this week. I would be so sad.
I'm gonna say Ariel and then Nicole. Yeah.
All interesting things to come.
Yes. Where's the screen? Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you in a few days. Give us a few
In a
more.
couple days, yay! Actually, a break.
I need a break. Okay. Goodbye.